Good evening, friends. Good evening, humans. A very exciting subject today. Funny, yet very sad for some characters in this story, as many of my little blurs are just stories that never been told, or they've been told in the way that would, feed some agenda, that would serve some very sinister purpose. So every story that you listen deeply, listen twice. What they were trying to do, what they were trying to achieve. What is the background intent of telling you a certain way the historic events, as most of the stories are, just a historic interpretation of the events, they maybe never happened. So one of these beautiful books of so-called history, it's called Bible. And they're talking about the second coming. Second coming of Christ. Is it real? Is it fiction? Is it something that we have to be worried about or be very excited about? So, title for this story goes like this: The Second Coming of Christ. What is in common between Bacon, Tesla, Mandela, Martin Luther King, Gandhi, and Christ? Yeah, it's a mouthful. Yet we're still expecting that something will happen. And when this happens, we'll be, maybe saved, maybe, sent to some dark place where nobody will find us. What if I tell you that this second coming already happened? Not once. It happened hundreds of times. Just based on this story that was misinterpreted through the Bible or through the so-called non-secular teachings, that Christ will come and he will save us again. I don't think so. He did what he has to do at that time. Very limited success. So why he was here 2000 years ago? Why he would come again? And why on a specific date of, let's say, 2000 years later? Maybe he was here in between these 2000 years. And I can really assure you, he was. And he's still coming. And coming again, and coming again. Would you come again to the house where they kind of take you in and they actually put you apart and they serve you for dinner? This dude came again. Sometimes he came a couple of times at the same time. If you can get my drift. So being multiple times in the same time period. Different locations. Same agenda. What was Christ's agenda? What is his agenda again today? Did you ever ask yourself, what is your agenda for your being here on planet Earth, this organic planet Earth, not some other ones. They so-called don't exist. Do you think that Christ had enough of coming second time, third time, 33rd time, and on and on? And every time he has been executed, has been sacrificed, has been eaten, has been really tried to brought down because he was carrying a truth from the creation, truth of real and truthful light, So, what we get used to, and what we now especially live in a contemporary times, is a fake light or light of the darkness, that we almost pretend that we don't want to look deeper the meanings of all these sinister actions that are around us, but they are written in the law, so we'll not respect them. We will respect them because we'll behave as we have been asked. We'll respect authority because we've been breeded into slavery since we're born, so why not continue? Who needs freedom? We don't need a Christ to come back again to tell us, really, people, stand up for your freedom. Nobody else will free you. There's no Christ on this planet who can free you but you. So, do you become Christ first and then free yourself, or you free yourself and then become Christ? It's up to you. You choose. But I would suggest go in small steps. Watch what Gandhi did. Very small steps. Very non-aggressive cleansing of the garbage of British Empire. What Mandela did. 27 years was sitting in the jail, and when he came out, he basically crushed the system completely of the Roman Empire, same crap, of the British Empire, who was with the Dutch and the other invaders controlling South Africa. So he gets free. South Africa and apartheid gets crushed. It actually gets freed for the people of South Africa. Again, because Mandela did not fight them. He did not fight them the way how they were fighting everybody else before, with the guns and with accusations. He just went nicely and legally. Yet they were trying to completely demolish him and diminish him in the jail. So even after 27 years, are there changes in South Africa? Yes, there are. Martin Luther King, for 40 years or so, really preaching and talking about a higher meaning of life, that equality is the only way to live. Yet how many people saw him as a Christ energy? Pretty much nobody. Or many of these people who suddenly at that generation, in the new generations, completely forgot that this being existed at that time. It was a part of their true revolutionary history. Without a single blood of these oppressors was spilled, Martin Luther King managed to bring the apartheid or black apartheid down. So how this is possible that nobody talks about these beings as of Christ energy? How come nobody talks about Tesla, Nikola Tesla, who's another American Serbian origins, beautiful being who lived 100 years ago, who brought all the technology possible on this planet? None of these technologies were, let's say, destructive. Yet, when you're listening this fake light, or these new financiers who are actually drowning Tesla down and stealing from him all the patents and all the technology so they can make profits, as they did, so America flourished in the next 100 years, in the previous 100 years, based on Tesla's technologies. And nobody want to say a single word about this being, that he was there, truly Christ energy, giving all what he can do to help every single human. So how many people are talking about this? How many people are using his technology? Every single one of us is using Tesla's technology. Tesla's inventions. Yes, they put some different name on top, but doesn't matter. Yet you have to charge, you have to pay for these technologies, because these freaks want to keep you in control. And Tesla did not want this. So this is why he could not really sustain any of his ideas fully, that once when he discovers something and give it to the people, it will actually go to the people. It will not go in the pockets of the rich controlling bankers and industrialists at that time. One of the famous now, it's J.P. Morgan, Westinghouse, and so on. These are the creatures, really dark creatures, who abuse this true light of Christ and start selling it to people for very expensive price. One of the that I truly admire his attempts to do the really Christ work in 1500s, Francis Bacon, who wrote all so-called Shakespearean works that were given for free. Now the only text you can do without any royalties at the present time are Shakespearean books and Shakespearean plays. So how come nobody talks about this being who gave everything for extending the human spirit towards freedom? 400 million these plays were printed, and there's not a single royalty dollar was given back to Francis Bacon or his ancestors. So basically, again, the light of the darkness stealing the beautiful transformations that he did within the platform of language. He managed to completely change and bring language written and spoken closer to every single one, so our communication becomes much more clear. Translating the Bibles in the way that we can actually follow, and there's no misinterpretations, as they were done on very, on purpose to misinterpret some of the ancient stories and twist them into the darkness, light of the darkness kind of agenda. So we start looking for God somewhere outside, in the churches and so on, which is not true. This is not a part of the true Christ legacy. Why nobody mentioning about Jesus's his own writings? Where are they? So you have to what? Bring down Vatican to find out that Jesus wrote many, many things. And he left legacy behind, so why it's hidden from you? Do you question this? So title was The Second Coming of Christ. What is in common between all these beings? This is this Christ energy that is bringing them so close to humanity, and humanity could not even recognize, could not dare to try to save these people from the dark side, but they actually go in opposite form and start killing these people no matter what. Gandhi was killed, Francis Bacon put in prison, Mandela in prison, Martin Luther King killed. So I have no comprehension when and what has to be done for human spirit to start recognizing rather these people than start recognizing or cherishing or worshipping these truly fake gods that are now residing in some of our religious institutions. They're calling Holy Father. Fucking Holy Father is, by their description, a pope. Are you kidding me? There's only one Holy Father, and it's our prime creator. So how come this freak with a hat and with a skirt can represent the prime creator of us all here on the earth. How he dares? And how many of us are questioning this kind of freaking behavior? How many of us are questioning that every time the beings like Teslas or Gandhis or Martin Luther Kings has to be killed, sacrificed again? So how many Christ energies do we need to have? How many second comings do we need to have to be able to comprehend that we have to change? We individually. We have to start really searching for Christ within. And when we find that we are far away with our actions, with our behaviors, then we start changing our actions, our behaviors to really become Christ within. So, this story about second coming or falsified, Antichrist will come and it will be the end of the times. It will not. First of all, Antichrist is already here from the day one. And then the Christ came again 2,000 years ago, and again and again and many, many times, trying to change a bit our attitude towards this absolutely ignorant behavior. So Antichrist is not only a Catholic church, it's a Muslim religion. It's a terroristic governmental approach to other people and other nations. To me, this is the Antichrist. To me, anybody who's hoarding and stealing from others by keeping them as slaves are Antichrist. So when you tell me that Antichrist has to come so we'll start waking up, you're too late, my friend. Antichrist is here. It's within you, with your behavior, with your greed, with your jealousy, with your conformism. I'll just be okay if nothing happens. That's okay. Bomb on Nagasaki is okay. Oh, Chernobyl is too far. It's in Ukraine. Who cares? I'm in my cozy little couch in United States. This is living conformist. This is living conformist who doesn't care for anything but his own ass. And this ass is so big now that will not be able to sustain or find a Christ within. If you don't change your attitude, if you do not start looking for true enemies who are inside your American government and institutions and taxation offices, not outside. Your enemies are not in, Afghanistan, Syria, whenever you want to, and pretend that you are attacking. I mean, you are attacking, but you're pretending that you are saving somebody by attacking, innocent people. You have to start looking within. Same applies on the nation level, same applies on the personal level. When you want to find solutions for your own growth, of the spiritual growth, you look inside your nation, what is wrong. And the enemy is inside. This Antichrist sits in your Congress. It was sitting in your presidential White House until a year ago. And now the true person who's the true man, a human, who trying to really wake you up all, Donald Trump, you want to prosecute him again. So where is your logic in all this? Why are you here? Why you exist on this planet? To kill as many Christ energies as you can? Not even look that you maybe have ability to raise up from your own little misery and recognize that you are a part of this Christ energy. I mean, you could be if you change your actions. So, suggestions? I have no suggestions. Stop killing Christs around. Stop accusing them. Stop putting them in jail. And start raising your own Christ energy.